Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. Woohoo! Which can lead to involuntary deal squeals, like the infamous deal on a new massager squeal. Yeah! Save big on Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. The theme of this season is Healing Girl Summer. Are you healing? Are you in a healing era?
I don't know what I am right now. If I think about it too much, I feel like I need to just throw my phone in the ocean and never talk to anybody, stay in my own lane and do literally nothing but be in my head and figure the shit out.
I think a big piece of my Healing Girl Summer is just spending more time with people that I love.
But like, I can't think of, like, I could list all the bad things that happened last year, but I really can't think of that many bad things that happened this year. Yeah, I'm gonna call it Fun Girl Summer.
Hot Girl Summer. Lexie's gonna have a Hot Girl Summer.
But I don't want to fuck around.
Okay. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to or back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I was planning on doing a solo episode for the first episode of season 7. However, I have had a crazy past couple weeks and there's something wrong with my throat. Does it sound like I have something stuck in my throat? No? Okay, Lexie's shaking her head no. It's kind of hard to talk. So I brought in reinforcements for today's episode.
Hey, what's going on, party people?
You guys have met Lexie before, but go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lexie. I'm Lily's younger sister and roommate. I'm tons of fun. I love to talk. We have a few episodes together, but I feel like a lot of people are always shocked when they hear me on the pod. I don't know why.
They're excited. A lot of feedback that I always get is Lexie's episodes are some of my favorite episodes.
The people love me.
The people love you. So because my throat isn't feeling 100%, I figured that I bring in the chatterbox to carry the team today.
But I'm so tired today. I don't feel like talking.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm not like down today. I'm just like low key. This is like the first day that I'm not doing anything, which is a good thing. It's just like now I actually have time to sit and chill.
Let's go ahead and kind of debrief on the latest, what we've been up to.
I need to like look at a calendar. I don't even know what day it is.
Why we're so fried. I know, right? Today is
It's the last day of May. How did that happen?
It's the second to last day of May, right? It's the 30.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Tomorrow's the last day of May.
This is going to kind of be like a soft launch into season 7 because I was going to do a whole like Healing Girl Summer prep type episode. But I figured that I just have to like catch you guys up to speed in my life and then we can kind of roll into the season. There are a lot of things that I wanted to do in preparation for the new season that I just didn't do. I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I was on the phone with our mom yesterday and I just started my period. So launching the new season of the show and also being on my period, I was like, this is energetically going to be ridiculous. And I had a lot of things that I was going to do last week that I didn't get to because it was commissioning week in Annapolis or at the Naval Academy. And so during that time, the town just kind of like, how would you describe it? It was so cool. I can't even like put it into words.
First of all, the town is just overpopulated because it's like everybody's 1,000 people invite their families here, like their extended families and friends and whoever else. So the town is just overpopulated. So it just seems like crazy. And there's so many different events going on every single day that the public can just go to. And there were a lot of things that we wanted to do because our friends were graduating. Let's backtrack to 2 Saturdays ago. Ring dance.
Yeah, this was really cool.
I'm sure so many people are like, what was this event? Like from Instagram, they don't know what that is. Basically, that's like the start of commissioning/graduation week at the Naval Academy. Very traditional there, as you can imagine. It's
real quick timeout. Our dad graduated from the academy, so that's like our tie. A lot of people, I mean, that's not like public knowledge, right?
Yeah, I guess.
It's also not like some big secret, but our dad is a retired Marine and he graduated from the academy in the 80s. And so we've always come up here to go to football games. Our family's a big Naval Academy family. Anyway, that's kind of our tie there.
Like I said, the whole week of graduation, there's so many things happening in town because the whole town is just celebrating all these kids that are about to go be officers in the Navy and the Marine Corps. So it starts out on the Saturday before graduation, and it's in celebration of the juniors. So they call themselves the second class. They're one class away from graduating, and they get their class rings. And so it's a whole big traditional party, black tie, basically, you know, formal dress wear. And they put their rings on for practically, I think, the first time ever. I don't know if they're allowed to wear them before.
I think it's the first time that they're actually allowed to wear them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
or traditional, it's like if you wear it before, it's bad luck. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't really know the whole like whatever behind it. But anyway, so everybody goes. The entire class goes and they all bring dates. So Lily and I, we went with friends. We were actually set up, but in a good way. Like we lucked out. We had great guys that took us and cool. They were awesome.
A ring dance was super fun. We got like an Airbnb in Eastport with like some of their teammates and their dates. And like it kind of reminded me of like prepping for a wedding/prom situation.
Yes.
Like the anticipation for a formal event is so much fun.
Yeah, because you know you're gonna have a good time. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks great. It's so fun to dress up and get ready with a bunch of girls, and then having a date is fun.
The house was like buzzing. Like all the girls were like, "Oh, can I borrow eyelashes? Does anyone have a tampon?" Yeah, do a curling iron. It was so fun, and we just met.
I haven't gotten ready. Well, I guess last year we did Marley's wedding, but since prom, I hadn't gotten
formal event that I've been to since Marley's wedding like a year ago.
Yeah. But like, I just love that kind of stuff.
It was so fun. I definitely got a little too lit.
They're in the open bar, the event.
Open bar. I kept getting wine, and then we would do White Claws and stuff. And I was like,
but it was so fun. Lily and I literally were just ripping up the dance floor the entire time.
3 hours. It was the best.
It was so fun. And honestly, I only saw a handful of people sitting down. Most people were dancing, which is just the best.
The energy was great, and it was just so cool to. Like it's those guys' night, and so to just like chill with them beforehand, like go out to dinner and just to be like, whatever you guys want, like this is, you know, your night, like we're just here to have fun with you and celebrate you guys. And it was just so
well, and they've been looking forward to that too since they were like freshmen.
Yeah,
so it's like a big deal.
Being able to see some of the stuff and like the traditions that they do at the academy is always so cool because each academy has their own traditions and stuff. Our older sister Marley went to the Merchant Marine Academy, and like watching her traditions was always so cool and hearing about them. So it's fun to like be a part of one, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool because like our dad talks about his good memories and stuff, and so it's fun to be like, oh yeah, like we did that too, or this was different or whatever. So
what did we do Sunday? Oh, we all just like woke up in the Airbnb. We had breakfast and like chilled.
That was fun. It felt like we were on vacation because we were in this like really cute little like cottage house, and we were just all with our friends like making pancakes and bacon and like oh guys, like what do you want to do? Oh, I don't know, we have no plans today. So it was like building a day and together. It was just cool.
Monday we both worked. No, did we work? Tuesday we worked.
I can't even like keep track of what happened
both days.
I'm pretty sure. No, I literally worked every single day that week.
You worked Wednesday. And I just came to Dock Bar and just sat there with a bunch of friends and like drank Orange Crushes, watched the Blue Angels. That was super fun. What did we do on Thursday? We worked
explain again. The Blue Angels.
Oh, okay. So the Blue Angels is a flight demonstration group, and they're part of the Navy, and they go to air shows and they just kind of demonstrate like what the planes and the pilots can do. And it's absolutely incredible. They do some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. So they had a practice here on Tuesday, and they practiced for like 4 hours. And then Wednesday they had the real show. So we went to a spot like on the roof of one of the buildings over on the yard, watched for a little bit, and then Lex had to go to work. So she'd be at work at 3. We started walking at like 2:30. We're walking on the street and we passed a group of our friends. And I was like, oh, well, I'm just kind of like headed to Pussers. I was going to like just end up walking home. And they're like, oh, like we'll go to Pussers and drink. So we ended up getting a table.
And no one will turn down a drink here.
Nobody turns down a drink. It's awesome. And so we just walked down the street and then we stopped into Pussers, got some orange crushes. And then one of my friends was working on the dock. And so she was just like, stay, drink like as long as you want. So I just kept my tab open, and like my one friend group left, kept my tab open. I just started like walking around chatting with people. And
do they know that you work there too now?
I think I mentioned it. I honestly haven't recorded many solo episodes since I started working there. But yeah, no, I do work at Pussers with Lexie. It's the best. Come see us. And then I just started firing off messages in group chats. I was literally like
I got busy and I was like, Lily, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, you need to go find your own friends.
Yeah,
I was working.
I was like, okay. So I started firing off messages in group chats. I was like, I'm at Pussers, come hang. I'm at Pussers, come get an orange crush. And so a couple of my friends ended up stopping by. It was super fun. And then what else did I do? Oh, I just ended up continuing. Like, I had the biggest day. I ended up going to Big Beers. Or is that what it's called? Big Beers at McGarvey's. Yeah. So I did that. And then we went back to Pussers. It was insane.
And I picked you up at like 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. But it was crazy. Like, Wednesday and Thursday were packed everywhere.
I couldn't even walk.
And Friday.
I couldn't even walk through the restaurant.
Yeah. It was insane.
Absolutely insane.
I worked like all last week except for Friday. Friday we went to the Naval Academy graduation, which was awesome. Had a bunch of friends graduating. And then
can we just real quick talk about their class president's speech?
That was amazing.
That was insane.
Yeah, he's awesome.
That was really cool. And then the hat toss was also just like,
yeah, like chilling.
Or when they took the oath. That was incredible.
Yeah.
All parts.
I just have so much respect for it. And it's just insane that we met all those kids when they were like broke free out of COVID their junior year, and then we watched them graduate and commission. It's just insane. Like, it's just weird feeling, but like so exciting.
Yeah.
And we have so many new friends that we're like closer with and everything. So it's just like, it was like so bittersweet.
Graduation season as a whole. We were at a grad party the other day and I looked at Lex and I was like, I love the end of May.
Yeah.
When kids are graduating, there's so many weddings and
it's just so happy. Like, people are all together, families, and everyone's just in celebration mode.
The weather's finally warm. Like, the pools are opening. It finally just feels like life is good, you know?
It's like almost like cracking the shell open after winter.
No, it really is. It's like we've been in this little like cocoon all winter, or like a bear cave, and we're just like out of hibernation.
Yeah. Right after graduation, Lily and I just like went to lunch and we texted friends. They met up with us and we just started drinking again.
One thing I love about hanging out with guys, and maybe this is a girl thing, but I've never done this.
They're so down for anything.
They're down for whatever, but also they're not afraid to add to the group. It's like the more the merrier mentality. Yes. And I think a lot of times when at least in like past friendships or maybe college, it's like kind of this like exclusive mentality. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna do this and that's it.
Like, the three of us are doing this and don't invite anybody else.
I've never had more kind of like fluid friendships than I do now. It's like everyone kind of knows each other, and then it's like, oh, like the girlfriends are coming, and it's just like, I love it's so cool.
Or like Friday night we were sitting at Chop Tank and I look over and I was like, how do I know you? And then and then they were like, no, wait, we met last time we were all here. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I just can't remember your name, like whatever. And then it's all of a sudden like, yeah, we met in passing, but now we're friends. It's super cool.
Yeah. And I think I say this all the time, but I've never met someone who's been like, no, I already have enough friends that I don't want to make more. I've never met someone that says that.
Not a thing.
And so when you're just kind of, because a very common thing, or a very common question that I see all the time is like, how do I make friends? How do but I really think that you just have to be open to the more the merrier mentality, and being okay with just kind of like going with the flow. The best days are the days where I'm like, I'm just going to see what I can get up to today. Like, that's what I did on Wednesday.
Yeah. It
was so fun.
Well, and I just love meeting other people's friends. Obviously, we have something in common with just having one mutual friend. So that's common ground already. So if I like this person and then they like them, why wouldn't me and the other person get along too?
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I love it.
I also really appreciate when one friend makes an introduction. Like if we're adding to the group, like if we're pulling tables together, make the introduction. And then
sometimes it gets chaotic though, but I don't have a problem being like, hi, I did not get your name, or like, hi, who are you? And then just kind of like sparking up a conversation. Yeah. If it doesn't click right away, then you just finish up that small talk and move on, or like do a group conversation or something. But yeah.
This whole theme, this whole season is, I'm calling it Healing Girl Summer. I was doing some writing the other day, and a big theme for me was the people. And the people in, you know, past seasons of my life, or the people in current seasons of my life, they're helping me, whether they know it or not. They're helping me become a better version of myself, a more relaxed version of myself. I've become very laid back because I've been spending time with more laid back people. I was just journaling, and it made me really realize how much of an impact the people I surround myself make on my life, and how they can either be positive or negative influences. And, you know, me 6 months ago, I really didn't have like a solid friend group that I could just call upon whenever I just like wanted to hang or wanted to do something. I think a big piece of my Healing Girl Summer is just spending more time with people that I love. I would definitely say a big part of my kind of summer bucket list, Healing Girl Summer essentials, is making sure that I'm spending quality time with people who will influence me in the best way, whether that's to be more laid back or influence me to just relax, like 2 pieces of pizza isn't going to kill you kind of thing. And I'm kind of just getting, like, we had ice cream the other day. When was the last time I had ice cream? Like, my skin didn't break out. I didn't blow up. Like, I'm fine. It's kind of just seeing the people in my life, whether they know it or not, influencing me to just like be more chill and like gentle with myself, you know?
Well, yeah, I think that a good group of friends can positively impact so many things and aspects of your life.
Another thing for me is the past 10 days have I haven't even really been on my computer much. And so I really haven't been working. And for a while there, I was like kind of stressed because I was like, oh, like I'm not getting stuff done. Like these are priorities. I need to send emails. I need to do that. But all of that can wait. All my friends are moving, you know?
No, literally, like, I feel like I'm, like, so happy but so sad. Like, I've been like that since March. Mm-hmm. I've been so happy but so sad. And, like, it's just a weird stage of life. And I've always been the person to be like, just live in the moment, go with the flow, like, enjoy every second. But it's so true. And it's not cliche, because it's just, like, you don't know when things are going to switch. They're going to come and go. And so you just have to enjoy it while it lasts.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what I would imagine, like parents with kids. Like,
no, for real.
Like, oh, you know, I should stop working at, 5 or 6 and go spend time with my kids. Like, that's kind of how I felt this week. Like, I can come back to these emails. This isn't a top priority. Obviously, there are things that I have to get done that I, wedged in between events and stuff. But a top priority for me was celebrating my friends.
Right. Like, you get in the groove of it, just going through the motions of life. And then it, like, comes time for May. Each year comes around and you celebrate, or you watch your, friends of friends celebrate other people. And you're like, wait, life is going by so quick. Or like, wait, how are we all already at that age where someone's pregnant or somebody's getting married? Or, oh my gosh, I remember when she was my babysitter and now whatever. Like, it's so crazy. So I feel like you don't realize that you need to slow down and enjoy it until the moment's like almost already over. In December, you're not thinking about like, May's gonna come around and we're gonna all have to say goodbye. It's like, oh, that's like 6 months from now.
We all know that I'm pretty sensitive. And so I try really hard to actually be in the moment. So for me, it's kind of hard not to be like, oh shit, like, these people are moving in X amount of time, so I need to really embrace this time.
Well, because like, again, in December feels like so far away, but it goes by so quick.
It does. So I would just say like, grad season is here. It's hard. It's fun. It's emotional, but
it's more fun and exciting than sad though.
Absolutely. And it's more like bittersweet,
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not even the ones leaving. That's the crazy part.
But like, I don't want to be around when they're all not around anymore,
I will say it here, like live on the podcast. This is our last year in Annapolis.
Like, all of our friends are graduating, like the rest of our friends are graduating next year. So I don't want to stay when they're not here. Like,
yeah. Well, and I think too, like, we are definitely in a place in our life where we can do what we do anywhere, which is such a blessing.
It's so nice. Yeah.
And, you know, both of us are kind of just like up in the air with like potential job opportunities, or like, do I want to go back to school, or do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And the world, like, for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm equipped to really like let the world be my oyster.
Like, I could pack up tomorrow. I'm not going to, but I totally could.
Absolutely.
My flexible jobs allow me to do that.
Absolutely. You know, we'll probably just finish out our lease here and then just see where life takes us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I hope
so
it takes
many
us
things
south.
can change in one year.
It would be so fun to go to Florida. Like, that'd be awesome.
That'd be fun. Whether this is just a temporary friendship for this short amount of time or something that'll connect again in the future, it was special and impactful no matter how short or long it's going to be.
Friendships are so interesting because I think they're only hard if you make them hard.
Absolutely. And adult friendships are very interesting. And I think it's like, that's one of the hardest things about making and keeping friends at the age we're at. Like, in your 20s, you're so used to being in school and just almost like forced to be friends. Like, you can obviously choose your friends in like middle school, high school, college, but you're always together just by nature of
you're placed
of school.
In situations where you're forced to be friends. Like, if you play soccer, you're going to be friends with the other girls on the soccer team. Yeah. That's just kind of how it goes.
But then you're released into the real world and you're like, what the heck? And then unfortunately for our generation, it's social media. So it's like, she didn't Snapchat me back, or she didn't like the DM I sent her, or, you know, I know she's on her phone, but she didn't text me back. And that's the same for like dating relationships too, but just that's exhausting, and that's where the toxic friendships start, because it's not real.
I have two things to say. The first one is about social media, which we'll come back to because it's going to segue into a different conversation. So we'll add that to thing number 2. But the first thing I want to say is I've learned a lot about friendships in the past year, but one major kind of reoccurring theme is all you have to do is, you know, like, mutually care about each other, but know that the care will come in different capacities depending on what you have going on in your life. And they don't always have to be, you don't always have to be doing something. You can just know that this person has your back if you want to like give them a ring, or vice versa. Like,
yeah. And honestly, I think that's the best and healthiest
type of friendships. Like, I don't want to always have to be grabbing coffee with these people, or like, you know, hitting a workout class just to be like, oh, we're good, we're friends. Like, I so appreciate the type of friendships where like we could stop talking for like 6 weeks, or stop talking for 6 months, or stop talking for a year, and I could pick up the phone and we could still have like an hour-long conversation. And
honestly, it's so much better to just catch up like when you both are ready to catch up than try to play phone tag, or like, well, I haven't gotten a Snapchat from her in a long time. Like, when are we all going to get off Snapchat? I know that's so hypocritical of me, but like, it's literally the only way that anybody communicates anymore, and it's so freaking annoying.
Well, so I'm glad that you have Snapchat, because you kind of like keep the communications open.
So I would delete it, but like, I would never speak to half of the people that I enjoy talking to and hanging out with.
Yeah.
And then I literally told this the other day. I was like, well, if you want to hang out with me, just actually text me. I said, you never call me back. You never actually text me. And he's like, what? You're going to pretend that you're not a Snapchatter? I was like, I'm a Snapchatter because I feel like I have to be.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of fun, like, if you're like getting to know a guy or something.
Yeah, I think that's like
low commitment talking.
I was going to say it's non-committal.
The best like budding relationships for me are the ones where we don't Snapchat, we don't text, we just see each other when we see each other, and we can actually catch up and talk about life, rather than already knowing all the details that are going on because we've been texting or because we've been Snapchatting.
Right.
So this is a good segue into my social media detox that I took last week because we were so freaking busy.
It was like literally just by accident.
It was on accident. So quick little backstory. I deleted the Instagram app from my phone because it kept logging me into old accounts that were like linked to my Meta whatever. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to delete the Instagram app for a little bit, like see if that helps. So I deleted the app off my phone, and I didn't download it again for like 2 or 3 days. And I just kind of like forgot that Instagram was a thing. And then I downloaded again for Ring Dance. I don't know why, but it was like Saturday morning. I just downloaded it again. I think my total screen time for Saturday.
It was like 22 seconds for Instagram. My total screen time was like 20 minutes on my phone on Saturday. My total screen time for Instagram was 22 seconds. It's insane.
Absolutely insane, considering my screen time used to be like 4 hours. But I was so preoccupied with just spending time with my friends that I didn't need to go on Instagram. It was kind of one of those instances where you're like, everything I would need is right here. I don't even need to be on my phone, you know?
I love that. No, I think that's the best, when you can just like pretend, or like you don't even pretend, you literally just forget that your phone is a thing because you don't need it.
The only time that I really went on my phone on Saturday was when Dad was texting us. Guys, this was so cute. Yeah. So our parents have one of the cutest love stories I've ever heard in my entire life. Basically, we'll give you guys the skinny. My dad needed a ring dance date, and my mom and dad go way back. And
like 5th grade, way back.
5th grade. And so my dad wrote my mom a letter.
Snail mail.
Basically saying, I don't know, have you ever read the letter?
She definitely still has it, but I don't know. I've read the letter from 5th grade. He like wrote her like a check yes or no.
I've seen that. Yeah. That's like, in their wedding album. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no, they were juniors in college, and it was like December of my dad, and my mom's junior year. My dad was at the Naval Academy. My mom was in Indiana at school, and she had they had dated a little in the summer, like just a fling, and then she saw him in the fall, and like I guess they like had broken up or whatever, but she saw him in the fall and gave him the cold shoulder. And then December rolls around.
Queen.
I know, right? December rolls around, and she checks the mailbox at her mom's house and is like, "Mom, you'll never believe who wrote me a letter. Steve." And then she literally didn't even open it. She just threw it on the counter and was like, "This is because of ring dance." She opened it, and sure as shit, like, I mean, he
needed a ring dance date.
Well, he was just trying to mend the fence. He didn't straight up say like, "I need a ring dance date, like let's hang out again." He was just trying to like slowly lure her back in. They always come back.
No, they do always come back.
They always come back. Always come back. Anyway, so then again, the letter didn't say like subtitle, "I need a ring dance date." It was just like, "Hey, like I've been thinking, let's hang," whatever. They dated, whatever, went to ring dance. So
on Saturday,
they were dating by then though.
Yeah, they were dating, and they went to ring dance, blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. Got engaged, whatever, got married, etc. Mom and dad wouldn't have gotten married or like remend their relationship had it not been for ring dance. I'm just gonna call this podcast episode ring dance. So we were getting ready for ring dance, and we're getting texts in our family group message from our dad, and it's photos of the two of them at ring dance.
And it's so cute. My mom is wearing navy blue. I wore navy blue. We look just alike, so it was so cute to like put our faces together. Obviously the men's uniforms haven't changed. They're military, they don't change, so just so cool. Yeah, it was super cool. The pictures that they had, obviously like the decorations and stuff in the building were completely different, but like the traditional photos and like this huge like plastic version of their class ring, like you get a photo. It's just, the whole thing is so cool. So and the guys that we went with, they were like, "That's awesome, like your parents are so cool." It was really, really fun. Yeah, super fun night. So wasn't on my phone much. So you ate pizza. So we ate pizza after. Really just had like we went in on that pizza. We got like an extra large cheese and pepperoni pizza, and it was gone within like the minute. That was one of the highlights. Literally, we were all still in our like formal attire. I literally just hopped up on the kitchen counter. I ripped the seam of my dress, or the slit of my dress. Yeah. And then we just like sat there. It was 4 of us, and we ate an extra large pizza. At like 1 or 2 in the morning, and had a blast. Yeah. All around, I would definitely give the week like a 12 out of 10. Yeah, it was just so fun. And it was like, I don't know, the whole time I was like, I hope the rest of summer feels this way, and I think it will. The theme of this season is Healing Girl Summer. Are you healing? Are you in a healing era? I don't know what I am right now. If I think about it too much, I feel like I need to just like throw my phone in the ocean and never talk to anybody and like stay in my own lane and do literally nothing but be in my head and figure this shit out. But I temporarily tried that and it just made me more crazy.
What is bothering you the most right now?
I don't know. I feel like it's so silly after like getting clarity this weekend. It's just like missing somebody who it's not realistic with is just, it's not going to happen. And I need to just slap myself in the face and tell myself that. And I think I did that this weekend. And so that's perfect. Like I'm on the right track to success. I'm not healing, but I'm not purposely trying to like go into this whole journey of healing because I think that I'll just drive myself more insane. And I think that I'll end up being something that I don't want to be if I do that. I think isolating myself and forcing myself to deal with my feelings is just so tragic. And why would I do that for summer?
So you have a really, really good point. Because when I first was thinking Healing Girl Summer, I was really, really set on the idea of this summer is going to be about me. It's personal this time. Like I'm going to obviously work really hard on the podcast. I'm going to work really hard at the restaurant. And, you know, on my off time, I'm going to be doing, you know, putting in the work, whether that's like journaling, going to the gym, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say this time spent with friends and even reflecting on time spent with friends over the course of the bullshittery that I went through.
Like in the fall, yeah.
Like the time spent with friends was never time wasted. And I think when you start working on yourself, you get so caught up in the idea of working on yourself that it becomes damaging.
And it's not a bad thing, but I think personally, from the time I have spent with myself, obviously it's always been beneficial. That's not time wasted either. But I think if you go too far, there's like a teetering point where you almost are like digging your own grave.
Absolutely.
And like for me, that puts me in a depression. And that's not healthy at all, obviously. And like I'm not like just throwing that word around. I've been there multiple times and I don't want to go back. And so like I don't want to work on myself so hard that like I don't want to force myself to work on myself because that's something that should just come naturally. If I'm easily, you know, floating out of bed and going to the balcony and watching the sunrise and journaling while the sun is coming up and all this stuff, then that's what's meant to be at that time. But if I'm like, I'm going to work on myself and then every day my alarm goes off and I'm like, fuck no, I'm not getting out of bed. I basically have to rip myself out of bed to get to work on time. And obviously the whole journaling in the sunrise is not for me at that point. Like I need sleep because I'm doing this and this and this and I'm happy. So either way, if you're happy, you're happy. But like I'm not going to force myself to do one thing or the other.
I posted something on Instagram today and it was a picture of a journal entry. And I told you about this when we were standing at work the other day and had some downtime. And I said, Lex, you'll never believe I flipped to the first page of my journal. I had written some just kind of like brain dump stuff at the top, my gratitude list. And then I kind of just put, you know, when this journal's finished, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be just a better version of myself. I'm going to kind of get out of this messy state that I'm going to be in. I'm going to have a flexible job that allows me to work on the podcast. The podcast has at least 20,000 listeners per week. Like all of these things have kind of manifested themselves.
It's fallen into place. It hasn't like all of a sudden like shown up in your life.
No,
though.
and it didn't just happen out of nowhere. Like I had to go through it to get to where I am now. But when I wrote that, I was like kind of on this like downhill trajectory.
Right.
And that was kind of like a teetering point for me. And I kind of just like, I was on my way, like the elevator was going down and like, then I found out that like rock bottom actually has a basement. And like, I think that because I was spending so much time worried about, you know, the calories and making sure that I'm hitting the gym and I'm doing all these things and I'm perfect for my job and I'm showing up here and I'm showing up there. Like I was trying to check all these boxes, but there's a quote that I read and I put it on my, in this post on Instagram, but you can check all of these, you know, healthy habit boxes, but until you fix the shit inside of your head, none of that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, healing isn't, you know, making sure that I have to do my journaling or making sure that I am going to the gym. It's literally like letting myself do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah,
spend time
exactly.
with the people that I love and kind of like let them heal me, you know, like eating pizza, as basic as that sounds, like our friends don't know this, but I haven't had pizza in like years. You know, and I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I haven't had pizza in years. Like, you guys healed me. Like, that's just stupid. But it's just like the act of like not caring, the act of knowing that I'm loved.
And just enjoying and having a good time and not letting the boxes like choose your decisions for you.
Absolutely. And like, you know, having to be dairy free because of my skin, like that was a 3 or 4 year thing for me. Mm-hmm. And my skin has never been more clear, or my skin hasn't been more clear in the past couple years than it has been this week. And we've eaten like shit. We've had so much to drink.
Yeah. I can't say the same for my face, but
you're also going through a different situation. Yeah. So your body's kind of working on, you know, regulating itself in a different capacity. So you kind of have a different set of circumstances there.
But I will say it did get worse from the ice cream.
It did get worse?
No, it didn't.
It didn't. No, and I would totally agree. Like, I had a bowl of ice cream and like, I didn't implode. Like,
yeah. I think that healing is whatever you need it to be. Mm-hmm. And that's different. Like, honestly, anything in life, though, like mental or physical healing, everybody's on their own path, their own journey. Is this a medical, like, miracle? I don't know. But, like, I can't lock myself away. Okay, this weekend was awesome. And I was like, you know what? And I think it was the clarity that we got from friends that I just was like, okay, like, need to cut these ties and just move forward with life. And that's the thing that needs to happen. And I don't know, it was almost like I was almost there, and then the conversations I had and experiences I had this weekend, they were like, all right, like, we're with you with this. Maybe that's what that was.
When you're vulnerable with people and they're vulnerable back, and you guys kind of have this mutual understanding of like where your head's at or where their head's at, it can be a lot easier to process and move through things. And so I think you kind of sharing your heart and receiving feedback that, oh, that's valid.
Being able to sit down with like 3 different people this weekend and have them tell me, that is so true, Lexie, like, this is so valid. We understand, like, we've been there, but XYZ as a resolution, not feeling like I'm way too in my head or delusional or anything, like, just kind of like, Lexie, like, you're good, you can live your life. That's like the green light I got, I think.
Almost like permission to move on.
I think that this summer is just going to be really fun and full of like a lot of good times with good people. I'm just ready to just like go for it.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
Like, I was driving today home from the gym, and which I haven't been to the gym in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, I went to yoga this morning, and I was like, I
texted you this. I lost 10 pounds.
That's insane.
I
didn't see that text.
Yeah, I know you were busy. I was texting you the most random thoughts. Yeah. I just had like a stream of consciousness coming through Lexie's text messages. But yeah, I weighed myself at the gym. I've lost 10 pounds since I quit my job.
That's insane.
Yeah. And
Go girl.
If that's not like a physical sign that shit was so sideways. But I was driving home from the gym, getting on, I think it's like 665, and I felt, for the first time, it was really weird, but I felt so at home.
Really?
Yeah. And it was so weird because, you know, the exit when you get off on 113 and you merge on a 50?
No, I don't know where any of the roads are.
So you're at home, right? Take you back to Ocean City. Hitting that exit on the way to school, like blasting Skywalker by what's his face every morning my senior year, like how that exit felt, for some reason, that is how getting on.
That's how I feel when I drive by, like when you're leaving, like I guess, yeah, like I think it's the same exit you're talking about, like going towards like where the boys lived. I just feel like so like homey there. And even this morning when I went to Bean Rush, I have a funny story about Bean Rush, but I tell you off the mic.
Really?
It's nothing like crazy. Like, no, I didn't see anybody. Like,
just tell me on the mic when I include it.
Oh, I just was getting coffee, and the the guy barista was like, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. I was like, yeah, like work got really busy and like we just haven't been able to like get up and get to coffee really. And it's like, and our friends moved out of the house across the street, so it's like we're just like not here anymore. And he goes, wait, that's really sad. He was like, but I still want you guys to come in.
Aww.
It was cute, but it was so funny because like the mornings I literally would walk and like stumble in there, and like one time I looked so bad, and then they were like, you came from across the street, didn't you? I was like, yes. Oh, that's so awesome.
So with summer upon us, Healing Girl summer upon us, what are some of your Healing Girl summer non-negotiables?
Yeah, I'm going to call it Fun Girl Summer.
Hot Girl summer. Lexi's going to have a hot girl summer.
But I don't want to fuck around.
Okay.
I have a
flirty girl summer?
No, that's just as bad.
Oh.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to call it Fun Girl Summer. Okay. I'm just going to say yes to everything, obviously, within my boundaries and morals.
Lexi's going to try everything. No rules.
No drugs. No sex.
I never said drugs. I just said she's going to try
everything. Okay. No, I don't do drugs. Anyway, let's have some fun. I'm just going to say yes. I tried to implement this into my life last summer, and it worked out really well for me.
Except for that crazy stalker boyfriend you had by the end of the year.
Yeah.
By the end of the season.
Wow. What? Well, I like tried to delete that from my brain.
Lexie said yes a little bit too much and she got herself into a situation.
I did. And that's a story for another time. But I've learned that saying yes within reason, like saying yes as in like
go on the boat,
or like, oh, a big group of us are going out to dinner. Do you want to come? No, I have to get up tomorrow morning. Like, you're still going to wake up. You'll be fine. You can go to dinner. Working hard and having fun at the same time is possible. I'm going to work hard, and now, especially because I have 2 jobs and stuff, but I also not beating myself up about like taking off a Saturday to go home and like have fun with the family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like work-life balance for sure. I mean, I need to be more consistent with my workouts and stuff, and that also makes me really happy. Waking up.
A healthy consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. But not thinking that like, oh, well, I'm teaching yoga today, so that's my workout, because it's not. I need to do like my own thing when I'm the student, not the teacher and a student.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like being a student helps you become a better teacher.
Absolutely.
And so making sure that, you're not losing your own practice.
Yeah.
Is super beneficial to you.
And that's how I feel right now. Like,
yeah. Well, you went today.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, no. I mean, I just feel like I don't want to not like it teaching.
Yeah.
I want to love it. And I do love it, but I just want to make sure I keep that like spark going, and that only happens when you're a student and a teacher equally.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's all for me.
If not, probably a student more than an instructor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. I would say my summer non-negotiables, being more lenient with food. Like I haven't had like a summer ice cream cone in a while.
Yeah,
like,
it's fun.
We had ice cream the other day for the first time in a long time. We like picked crabs and had ice cream. And it just felt like a summer.
It really was.
Very like a Maryland summer day type thing. Another non-negotiable for me is probably, I would also say just literally working my ass off, like making as much money as I possibly can.
But it's fun and it's so easy to work hard there.
I am having the most fun working at a restaurant.
I know.
Like, can you believe those words are coming out of my mouth?
No one would believe it.
Growing up, everyone always told me that I would hate working at a restaurant.
I think growing up you would have hated it. But the person you are today is completely different. Like your go with the flow, like attitude and mindset, I think that's helping you be successful there. Otherwise, if you were 18-year-old Lily in a restaurant, no.
What do you think changed?
You're not as uptight anymore.
Why?
I don't know. You're just not. You don't care what people think about you. I think that has a big impact on a lot of other different aspects of life. And I think that you're more open to opportunity and just like testing the waters with things. Whereas like before, it was just like judgment before experience. You're not like a completely different person. I just think you're more open to new things.
I would agree with that. I know I keep racking my brain trying to figure out like where the major shift was. And
it was when we moved. It's just like getting older and maturing though.
Yeah.
In college, it wasn't that you were uptight, but you just had like so many things, just like almost like you're just standing there as the target and so many things were shooting at you, so you had to like,
I feel like I was always on
like high school. Everybody's uptight. I was a bitch in high school because I was just like, I just didn't like anybody. I didn't want to be there.
I keep going back and I'm pondering this, and maybe we can ponder together, but are fidgeting with this idea of what I said the other night of, I think I'm about 80% the person that I was as a kid.
I know. And I think he was onto something. I don't think he could fully explain it because he was really drunk. But like maybe if we had asked him in the morning to explain it again. No, I mean, when you think about who I was as a kid, I'm the same freaking girl. Like, I mean, like the dance parties and talking to everybody. And like, I just remember this one story, and I feel like this just describes who I am as a person. One time my mom and I were at a bagel shop, and there were newspaper pickup containers outside. I don't even know if people would know what I'm talking about. There were metal ones when you like pull down and there was one big plastic one. My mom said, honey, can you, I don't know why, but my mom let me do whatever I wanted. So I was just outside by myself. Maybe she told me to.
Time out. How old were you?
I was probably like 6 or 7.
Okay.
I went outside of the shop while my mom was getting one more thing, or maybe she was running to the bathroom or talking to somebody. I don't know. I was outside alone, just in like the little patio area, and then we would walk to our car together.
Mind you, this was like a cute little mom and pop shop. We went there almost every single morning.
Like it wasn't like sketchy that I was outside by myself.
Yeah, it was in like the most like contained low key area ever. Like it was super chill and very, very safe. So yeah, that's like why mom left her outside probably. I don't know.
No, and I think she probably was just like, I'll be right back. Like whatever, just don't cross the street without me basically. Like, and like we knew the owners, we were in there every single day.
We were also free range kids.
Yeah. But anyway, so, again, there were a bunch of like metal newspaper things that you would pull down in the front, and then there was one plastic one. So I got inside of the plastic. I can't even tell the story. I got inside of the plastic one, and I thought that I would know when my mom was coming out of the door so I could like spook her. But I timed it poorly, and some woman opened up the newspaper to get the newspaper, and I scared this poor old lady by accident. And I just remember being like, hi. And she was like, oh, hello. And then she's like, where's your mom? And I said I was going to scare her. And it was just so funny. And so I said, can you just close the door? And I'm sure the woman and my mom, like, I'm sure that they had a conversation before my mom walked out of the building. But like, that's just, I feel like I'm still that person. Can you shut the door? Yeah, wait, I was trying to scare my mom. Can you shut the door? And the fact that I was tiny enough to fit into this plastic. But yeah, I feel like I'm still that kid.
You are.
Or like, if you look back at the church's father-daughter dance photos and me teaching every homeschool kid how to do the duck. You best believe I'm still teaching people. Or like, there's a photo of me and, well, yeah, no, it's dad and me crossing the finish line at the 5K breast cancer race on the boardwalk. And I was so competitive that there's a photo of us crossing the finish line, but I pushed my dad out of the way so I could cross first. And mind you, I'm in this big pink tutu and like this crazy outfit.
You're hilarious, dude.
But I'm still that person.
You are very much still that person.
I'm more so that person like this year than I have been in so long.
Well, and I keep going back to the idea that like when you ask your parents who you were as a kid, that's the version of yourself that you're supposed to be.
It's like the same thing when we were getting our hair done. And I was like, I feel like myself again. And the hairdresser was like, well, yeah, like you told me when you sat in this chair that your hair was this color when you were born and when you were a little kid. So like that hair color is what like your real state. Like that's what like looks like what looks the best, who you're supposed to be. Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's like,
and then I think about, and I was like, wow, how perfect that he said 80. You know, I'm like 80-20, this is perfect. Let's just take this ratio and run. Yeah. So I'm like, where does the other 20 come from? You know,
the world.
Well, obviously it's the world, but it's like also like, yeah, you're maturing, you're learning lessons, you're making mistakes.
And like you're getting jaded by everything.
Absolutely. And so, you know, you become this version of yourself. Obviously, you're never going to revert fully back to 100% of the 4-year-old version of yourself. I know, I wish that we could have like dug a little bit deeper into that conversation, but we were like coming at all kinds of angles from.
Yeah, that was just like a snippet of the very long conversation we had with him. But
yeah, that was so interesting. So anyway, I don't even remember what we were talking about before, but do you? I don't know.
No.
Maybe my summer non-negotiables. I don't really remember what I was talking about.
I don't know, just having fun and like being ourselves and stuff.
Yeah, and like letting myself, you know, like run in flower fields and like play mermaids in the pool and just like be a kid. You know, when we moved up here, we didn't realize that we weren't going to have an Ocean City summer again. And last summer I worked my ass off. I remember July of last year, it was hot as shit outside. I was taking photos for something and I had a huge panic attack in the car. Do you remember this? I drove home from just down the street and I almost pulled over into the fire department because I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to pass out. And I walked in the house and I just passed out on my bed. You were home. And I said,
I don't know.
You know, I'm sure this all gets jumbled together because there were a lot of instances that were just like this one. But yeah, I had a horrible panic attack. And I just remember thinking like, I wish I could just be a kid again. Like, I wish that I could just.
Also, in both of our defenses, moving here, we had no time to process anything. And so we were dealing with life and random situations and like almost like a grieving process of our childhood all together. And we had no idea what was going on. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like we didn't give ourselves time to adjust. We just threw ourselves right into the fire. And so it was just like one thing after another. And even in our personal lives, I was just thinking like you had a breakup, you started a job, and then like
within 10 hours of each other.
And then I moved in here on a Saturday and had to go back to home with mom and dad Sunday to continue school, and then graduated cosmetology school and came back. Our dog died, our cat died. I failed 3 state board tests. I got no's from multiple salons and multiple yoga studios. I had weird shit going on at the first restaurant that I worked at. Our sister got married. Like so many random things, and all while trying to adjust
and just like be adults
in a brand new city. Like just so
not
weird.
Knowing anybody.
Like thank God we came to a city that we're like at least geographically familiar with.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't think of, like, I could list all the bad things that happened last year, but I really can't think of that many bad things that happened this year. Obviously, bad and negative things are all relative to the situation, but, like, I just named, like, 5 from last year, but I kind of can't even think of one.
No, last year was a shit show. It was one of probably the most...
like chaotic few months ever. Like every 2 weeks something like terrible was happening.
Really, yeah, if you really think about it, it was like every 2 weeks. Well, and it was one of those instances where it was like, oh, when it rains it pours.
Mm-hmm.
And
you finally think that you're gonna get the sun again and then just like downpour again.
I think of, feedback from people in our lives that, didn't really know the full circle or the full set of circumstances when I made some major changes, and a lot of the feedback was like, well, that's just the real world. That's how things go. You can either buckle up and deal with it like an adult, or, you can go cry about it kind of thing. For me, my immediate reaction is like, being an adult doesn't have to look a certain way. I mean, obviously there are boxes you have to check, like you got to pay your bills and like make rent and stuff. But I'm like, what do I want my adulthood to look like?
Yeah.
What do I want my young adult, my 20-somethings to look like? Do I want to continue to be depressed and let the rain cloud never clear, I can continue down that path, or I can make my adulthood look different. And because I'm an adult, I get to make a decision, a big girl, an adult decision to make my adulthood look different.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy because it's like, buckle up and deal with it as an adult. What does that even mean? Being frustrated with life every day? That's not something to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's not ideal. I don't want to do that. Like, and I think the only reason why I didn't fall as hard as you did was because I didn't have a 9-to-5 job. I was able to be in the restaurant industry the whole time. So it was almost like I was able to maybe like I worked late one day, so I didn't have to go in until a few hours later the next day. So it was like I had time to just like sit in my bed and decompress emotionally and physically, and then like do it all again the next day. Just like random stuff was happening left and right.
Maybe going back to the journal entry from earlier, the book before the November book.
Yeah.
That one was fucked up.
I did journal, but not religiously last year, and even still I'm not like super consistent. And I literally texted this to our cousin this morning because she said something about like, oh, I need to start journaling again. And I was like, I kind of think that I get out of a routine when something tragic is happening to me. And tragic is obviously, again, relative, but when something that I don't want to relive again, it's not written in there. Rarely do I look back and I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, my emotions, yeah, when they're really high, it's so therapeutic to write it all down. But like when I have like a crazy weekend, and I kind of wish that like I had journaled from the past couple weekends, and
you still can,
because those are happy memories, but like I don't want to set myself up for failure in the future, so I don't want to have it in writing what the heck my mind is going through. That's like so like that's putting me so down in the dumps.
Well, two things here. One, it could be helpful because when you write,
I think it's a subconscious decision
to not
like I'm like, so I'm like out of routine.
You're avoiding yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I was trying to like word it.
Yeah. It's like when you know that you have to have a tough conversation with someone and you're like, I don't want to talk.
And
like,
you kind of can't even look them in the eyes.
You're like screen their calls until they eventually come behind you. When you journal to process things, you can access parts of your brain.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know that, and I've experienced that, and it definitely does work.
Secondly, you can look back at stuff. I have stuff from like September when that shit went down. I have stuff from November when that other shit went down, which I'll open up about maybe in 10 years. But like when you put things in writing, you can look back and be like, oh, that was really, really hard. Mm-hmm. And this is what I thought about it then, but this is how it falls into, life now. And this is where I am now. So it's almost.
But like there's like a handful of things that happened like last spring and last summer that I deleted from my brain on purpose.
I don't know how you can delete things from your brain. That's impressive to me.
I get anxious thinking and talking about them because they were deleted and I can't even recall.
Yeah.
Like I would never want to read it again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting because I think it's all subconscious. Like it wasn't even available to my thoughts until this morning when Brooke texted something about journaling, and she said something about, I don't know if I want to relive XYZ. And I said, no, I think that's why I get inconsistent with it. I have some weird magical power where I can delete certain situations.
Compartmentalization.
Yeah.
Tuck that into a little box.
Yeah.
Tape it up.
No, it's like
Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, like never to be opened again. It's trauma.
No, I know.
It's not impressive. It's like so twisted, but whatever.
No. Yeah, we went through some pretty fucked up shit last year. Stuff that really only you and I know about.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody else to know about things.
No, Mom listens to every episode. She's going to be like, my girls. Sorry, Mom. We'll tell you in 10 years.
Yeah, for real.
Another summer non-negotiable for me is probably documenting life, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's going to be a lot of bad. I'm putting it out there. I'm attracting a lot of good, and I want to document it. And I want, if you scroll my Instagram, it's a lot of just like random shit. Like I really didn't post a lot in like the fall and the winter time, but I posted like so much between like April and now. and just like fun moments. And there's a lot more people involved in my photos because there's a lot more people involved in my life.
So this was funny because I was looking at my own Instagram account today, and I always try to just be super authentic online. I used to say this about my yoga account, that it's like my scrapbook and like all my thoughts in my journal. I've always wanted to scrapbook, and I'm like, okay, I have so many fun memories that just literally happened in the last 2 weeks that I want to put in a scrapbook. And I think that kind of had to do with dad, like going through mom's scrapbook and finding those pictures from their time. And so I was like, no, like I actually need to go to Michael's and buy a book and buy stickers and all the things and print the pictures out at Walgreens and whatever. I was looking at my Instagram today and I was like, this is so funny, because I used to laugh at myself and be like, oh, my Instagram is only me. And now there's like one singular photo from the last year and a half of just me, or like 2, I think, that I'm the cover.
Your Instagram makes me really happy.
It looks like I have so many friends.
Well, you do have so many friends.
But before, it's just a product of life, though.
Absolutely.
Like, if you scroll back to high school, it was always just me.
Yeah.
Because I was always alone. I am going to start scrapbooking, and I tried to a few months ago, but I'm not tech savvy at all, and Walgreens wouldn't take my pictures because of some format, so I just need your help on that. And then we're printing a bunch of them, and we're doing it.
Well, so
and we could even start it from like moving to Annapolis.
Yeah. Well, so iPhone puts them in HEIC, but you really want them in a JPEG.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how to.
There's some like online like mass transfer thing, or you can just do them individually on your desktop though. But if you have like more than like 20, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that at all.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, I agree, scrapbooking, but I also want to have like a crafty summer.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we had, you're probably really little, but that babysitter, her name was Kelly, and we would do Camp Kelly. We would call it that.
I remember. I don't remember what we did.
We did crafts. We did the pool. We did the beach. But one of my favorites was always the crafts. And I literally would be like, Mom, what crafts are we doing with Kelly today? And she would just like whip something up. I don't know. So yesterday we went to Michael's and we got canvases and paint and like these cute little like acrylic like palette things. So we're gonna start painting, and apparently we're gonna start scrapbooking. So I'm interested in having like a crafty summer.
And it's just like, it's happy.
I need a hobby that isn't social media.
I need to throw my phone in the lake and just scrapbook.
You know what I want to do?
What?
A retreat or like a camp situation where I don't have my phone, like there's not even service.
I know.
So we should go. Do you want to go like camping?
No.
Oh.
I don't like the bugs.
Citronella candles. We'll do that, right?
How about just like a girls' night and everyone has to put their phone in a basket and it goes in a closet?
Okay, great. That's fine too. I went to probably 3 or 4 summers ago. Mom and I did that trip in the Shenandoah Valley. Do you remember that? Or the mountains?
How could I forget?
But anyway, there was no service and it was the best. Mom and I had the best time. So we should do like that. Have you heard of getaway cabins?
No.
They're like these cute little
like Airbnb type thing.
Yeah, kind of. And it's just kind of this cute little like cabin in the woods, but there's some like outside of DC. It's probably like 2 or 3 hours from here.
We should do it.
We should do it for like a night. That is it.
Crafty summer. Crafty girl summer.
Crafty girl summer, healing girl summer.
We should make bracelets.
Fun girl summer. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give it a 5-star rate and review. That just helps more people find and listen to the show. Be sure to subscribe for more Healing Girl Summer episodes. I've got a really, really cool season lined up for you guys. I've got a ton of incredible guests lined up and a ton of fun ideas for solo episodes too, so you guys don't want to miss out. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at LilyRayco or the podcast Instagram at 8020pod. Both of those will be linked in the show notes. I love you guys so, so much, and I will talk to you next week.